Have you met those happy if people? I'll be happy if I get a raise. I'll be happy if I have a nicer house. I'll be happy if I get the new car. I'll be happy if I take that trip. My name is Kris Krohn. I'm a multi-millionaire and I'm becoming a minimalist. I'm literally selling off almost everything that I own and I'm trading it for less. And I'm making today's video because I have a lot of people in my community that are saying, Kris, this really doesn't make sense. You're the guy for the last decade that I've known to fly in private jets and travel the world and basically live a life of incredible possibility. Why would you trade all of that for minimalism? Well, today I'm going to give you the answer. Why become the millionaire minimalist? I want you to imagine for a moment that you've built yourself into a person that is capable of being able to afford pretty much any car you want, travel every month if you want, somewhere exquisite, 5-star in the world, someone that can afford a multi-million-dollar mansion, 35,000 square feet, or basically can do whatever they want with their life, and for the most part, works part-time by choice. And now ask yourself, what weight or burden of responsibility might follow that person? You see, I've lived the high life, but it takes its toll. There's a cost that it exacts. I can tell you that often when business is going well, I feel like a freaking superstar, a superhero, but when business is not going well, it feels like pressure, it's heavy, it's very hard, and it feels alone. And when I take into account all the good times and the bad times and I mix it all together, it's like, well, I can manage and maintain this lifestyle. And then I ask myself, how is that contributing to the purpose of my life? How is that contributing to my happiness? And how is it contributing to fulfillment? And that's really what today's video is about. Do you remember when Robin Williams passed away? I remember growing up with Robin Williams. I remember that his shows were the funniest. I remember watching Miss Doubtfire for the first time and I'm like, this dude is dressing up like a woman and he makes you laugh. This is a guy literally who had risen to the top of stardom, who had everything money could buy, and then in the end he killed himself. Now, I'm not an expert on Robin Williams and I don't exactly know why he decided to off himself, but I can tell you that he had everything. And while I'm not as wealthy as he was, by most people's standards, I have everything. Why did he kill himself? The journey of becoming a minimalist is not about having nothing. Just like the journey of being successful doesn't mean you have to have everything. It's a journey of balance. And it's a balance between lack and excess, scarcity and not enoughness, and too much. And both are completely out of alignment. I've had a taste of everything. Robin Williams had, many might argue, everything. In fact, I'm friends with millionaires and billionaires, and I'll tell you that money actually doesn't buy happiness. It might afford them more options or more opportunities, but in some ways, having excess has an additional layer of burden that it exacts on a person's soul. Because the truth is, having stuff, it costs something to manage. It costs something to maintain, and I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about the energy. What is it to own something and not use it and then feel guilty or feel bad about that? What is it to own something that could be put to good use and it doesn't get used enough? And then you're dealing with the pressure of, well, should I use it more even though I don't feel like using it more? And when you haven't had the nicer things in life, you dream of them and you work for them and you make them your aim and your ambition. When you try them at first, like your ego feels good and your soul becomes alive and it feels amazing, only to find out that it doesn't last. At least it didn't for me. It's like this pit that's empty and I throw stuff in it and it's bottomless and it just goes down and down and down. I remember when this all happened for me. I remember starting off totally minimalistic and I remember when I lost the minimalism. See, in the beginning, my wife and I were super poor. We were college kids, found out I wasn't gonna be a doctor, started investing in real estate, and it became this game where it's like, oh my gosh, we're living off of like $40,000 a year, but we're making $100,000 a year. Now it's $200,000 a year. Now it's $250,000 a year. Got to the point where it was $500,000 a year. And as our income crept up, at one point, I decided to change the game. I had a portfolio of 25 homes, I had $1 million net worth, almost worth $2 million. And so I decided to build this like 8,600 square foot home, like this beautiful dream home, golf course community. This was right outside of Sundance in Provo Canyon here in Utah, a very, very desirable area. And I remember the reason why I was building it was because that I could build it for 1.8 million. I could only be into it 1.4 million. So I'd essentially walk into $400,000 worth of that. But secretly, I was just excited about actually living in a really nice house. And I felt like I could justify it against my other investments and how my portfolio was growing. But after we moved in that house, something started happening. The house had to be furnished. And then it's like, well, we care about our furniture. Like, we want to get nice pieces, stuff that will last. So then we started shopping for deals and getting furniture. And then after we had it furnished, it needed decorations. And after the decorations, it needed other stuff. And within a short period of time, the game that we had played of how little can we spend had morphed into a game of, well, what do we want next? Now, as you're listening to this, I want you to ask yourself, like, are you already thinking of the list of things that you want if you had more money? Because if you are, you can get lost in the game where you'll never set enough money aside. You'll never invest money. You'll never get your money working for you. You'll always be slave to it. You'll always be working for it, because the moment it's accounted for, you can buy that next thing. And I remember after 2 years of this, I started panicking. I'm like, wait, there was a time like I should be saving hundreds of thousands of dollars a year right now. Why isn't that happening? And it's like, well, we have to take this trip first, and then we have to do this. We have the list. And so I said, that's it. I'm gonna make the final list. And so I started making the final list. And by the time I got to line item 50, I realized the truth. The list was never gonna end. This was a mindset. You see, I decided I wanted everything, so I started buying everything. And a lot of people get trapped in this game, and it's where all of a sudden your job, you become slave to it, and now you need to get a raise and you need to make more money so that you can support that higher lifestyle. As opposed to the game I originally played as a minimalist, where I didn't care to own a nice thing. I didn't care about a luxury item. I just wanted freedom. And I started trading that freedom for stuff. It took my daughter 2 years ago trying to take her life for me to have the level of wake-up call to realize I'm so capable of producing so much, but it comes at a burden. It's heavy at times. It's a lot of pressure, and I'm alone. And that is not fulfilling the purpose of my life. Robin Williams had everything, and yet it didn't fulfill the purpose of his life. So here's my question for you. What really produces happiness, and what actually creates fulfillment? And here's what I can tell you I know for sure. Here's what I know. A really nice house and a really nice car and really nice stuff, really nice threads, is not the answer. Fulfillment doesn't come from things. Fulfillment comes from connection and experiences. And by the way, you might want an experience on the other side of the world, and it might cost you some money to get there. So there is a correlation between being good at saving money, investing money, having it work for you so that you can then afford the things in life that you want, because some experiences cost money. But so much of where fulfillment comes from happens when two humans interact and they connect in a way that is meaningful. And that doesn't cost, in most cases, anything. Why are people depressed? Because they're stuck in the past. They're thinking about things that make them sad. They spend enough time there looping on it over and over and over again. What can't they do in that moment? Connect meaningfully with a human being in a very meaningful way. Hey, sorry to cut in, but this opportunity just came up and I had to let you know about it. Timing matters with this one, so don't skip it. Just give me a second. This could be literally exactly what you need right now. If you're chasing 8% returns in the market, you're playing a game that was rigged from the beginning. I'm not here to help you survive. I'm here to help you build wealth that is so real that it doesn't just pay for your life, it multiplies it. In my book, Have It All, I break down the 5 major ROIs that you need to escape the rat race. Literally, it will teach you how to go from single digit to double digit with real estate, which is enough to make millions, by the way, but then how to go to triple digit, quadruple digit, and even infinite ROI. That's the level that changes your life forever. And if you're not aiming for that, you might be wasting your time. If you're ready to upgrade your strategy, and if you want to upgrade your results, click the link below. Start with this book, Have It All. It's not hype, it's the formula. So here's what I can tell you. As I become the millionaire minimalist, I want to guide you to do 3 things. The first thing is I want you to be wise with your money, and I want you to save your money for investing. The second thing I want you to do is invest your money so it works for you. I don't mean 401ks and IRAs. Those are single-digit returns. I don't mean paying off your house. That investment does not pay you money. I'm talking about putting your money in something that predictably produces cash flow, returns on your money, and growth. For the most part, I really just mean investing in investment-grade real estate properties. There's a way for you to do that fully turnkey. And the third thing is for you to explore a life where you get as much time back because your money's working for you, put less into your career if your money's working for you, and with that minimalism, explore what your most happy, fulfilling life looks like, where you're neither living in lack or excess. These produce mental illness. These create depression and anxiety. These are the places where we fall out of balance, we fall out of alignment with our higher self, and then all of a sudden, we're not pursuing what really matters. I mean, let's face it. We live in a world where people love to say, I'm busy. And honestly, I think the greatest sin of this generation is this phrase, I'm so busy. This idea of I'm so overcommitted. I've committed myself to things that I can't even get to. But the one thing I'm supposed to get to that I can't get to is me. Am I investing in me by going to the gym and taking care of my health? Am I showing my family love by giving myself a six-pack and showing that I'm gonna be around for a really long time? Am I loving myself by continuing my education, by learning and growing, by reading books or taking courses or being a part of masterminds? These things take time. They sometimes take money. And most importantly, your family. Like, time for you with your family. When you're busy, these are the things that we make excuses that we don't have time for, and yet these are the things that come from balance. So Kris Krohn, why are you becoming a minimalist? Why are you selling off all of your stuff? Why are you changing your lifestyle so dramatically? It's because I've learned that connecting with myself and connecting with God and connecting with my loved ones are the things in life that matter most. Continuing my education by reading or going to the gym or focusing on longevity for long life, those things hardly take any money. But they do take time and they do take consciousness. If I put all my energy into a career, as most people do, then we don't give ourselves and our family the time that they need, and we're basically living in excess or in lack, out of balance. Minimalism is about getting rid of all of the stuff that doesn't matter so you can find your center, and then from there, frankly, have all the time that you need for every inspired choice. Now, here's the hardest part of executing this plan. How do you get your hard-earned money to give you performance? How do you actually make your money work for you? I've spent the last 20 years and $2 billion of real estate transactions learning how to get real estate to predictably produce around a 60% annual ROI. In fact, my report of the last 9 years on 2,100 rentals essentially shows an average return of 60%. And I can tell you that if you're doing that, your money is working for you, which means you don't have to work maybe so hard in that career. You can start recapturing time knowing your money is working for you and live more of the life that you want. If you want the perspective from a multi-millionaire minimalist on how to make your money work best for you, those 401ks, IRAs, equity in your home and savings, click the link below, request a free game plan. Let me and my team take a look and see if we can show you how to get better performance now.